Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. And with that being said, let's start preparing for the week ahead. Alright guys, we're going to start off here with SPY. We're going to go over SPY, QQQ, IWM, DIA, the Mr. VIX, and then we're going to go over some of the FANG stocks. Then we shall go over some chips. Alright, and then we're going to go over Henry's trade ideas going into next week. All right, guys, we do have some juicy setups that we're going to be paying attention to. All right, so stay tuned for those. Those will be, second half of the video. Let's run through it. All right. First thing I am going to point out is that we closed out with a bearish shooting star candlestick over here on SPY. I do not think this high will be taken out next week. I think we are going to start our pullback. That is typically what this is going to lead to. All right, there have been, cases where you've gone higher after printing these candlesticks, but we have had a rather aggressive run over here. We were bullish on the break and retest. Let me just mark that up right here. All right, we already had our bullish break and retest. We've ascended up to new highs here. That's a pretty big move, and without any decent pullback here, that's a $20 move with a semi-decent pullback there. We had a $55 run. We're gonna come down here to the daily time frame, and I am going to point out, guys, 550 psych level. That is exactly what we were paying attention to on the 15-minute time frame. We told y'all what to look for. All right, you didn't have the bearish divergence going on over here on the 15-minute RSI. What happened? You came up here, you tagged your 550 psych level, and you had the 15-minute bearish divergence present through that move, and then you sold. All right, from 12 cents above that 550 psych level. All right, I was saying we were so close to that 550 psych level that it doesn't really make sense. So we're not going to go tap it. All right, there was probably liquidity sitting up there. Guess what? We tapped it, went 12 cents above it, and sold directly from there. Okay, we'll point out you got this little downtrend you could be paying attention to. You got that going on. All right, so going into next week, we have that. We're going to actually come back to the weekly time frame. I'm just going to point out what this candlestick represents, all right? Buyers, open you down here, all right? They ran you up, which was likely because this is not a candlestick that suggests immediate downside. What did it suggest? Guys, we could either get a consolidation week, or we're going to print a bearish, week over here, or we're going to continue higher. It was one or the other, but we weren't looking for immediate downside. These are the candlesticks that do suggest we should be cautious. These are the things that do suggest there can be immediate downside. Now I'm gonna point out on the smaller time frames that I don't think we just go straight down. I think we're gonna have like a consolidation day. All right, I'm gonna point out my reasons behind that. All right, on this channel, we tie all of these little puzzle pieces together and we get one big picture. Okay. That is how I like to do my things. We're going to start here with the, weekly, work down to the daily, and then we go and use the hourly and the 15-minute time frame, all right? If you're not new to the channel, then that's how we function over here in our little corner of YouTube. While I'm at it, I'll just remind everyone, hey, all right, if you are enjoying the video so far and you do find value in this video, okay, we're going to make sure I pack as much value into this video as possible going into the following week. We're going to be prepared. Please remember to like the video, and if you do have anybody else who you think would benefit from these videos, feel completely free to share. While I'm at it, go check out the Twitter. The link will be down below. I think anybody who enjoys these videos is very much going to enjoy the, things I post over there on Twitter. And every single weekend, I ask what tickers do you guys want covered? What shall we cover? And we cover them going into the following week. So if you have tickers that you want to watch into the following week, you can get my opinion on them over there. All right, back to the show. So we do have this large upper wick over here, which does tell us, all right, you opened here, buyers brought you up here to that 550 psych level, and then by the end of the week, the sellers took control. So going into next week, we know who's in control. It's the sellers, all right? You printed this, large upper wick on this increasing volume. That's not necessarily the most bullish look, and you can go higher from here. It's just very likely that you start that pullback, all right? I don't personally think this upper wick here is going to be taken out. I think we're finally going to pull back, guys. And, the level that's standing out to me on this weekly time frame is going to be 533.07, okay? Come down to the daily time frame. Let's point out the levels that we're paying attention to, okay? right here. All right. So this was the break and retest. This is if you did pull back from the 550 level. We were watching for buyers to step in right over here. You're going to have the daily 9. All right. So you got that daily 9 EMA. If you want to put that on your chart, it's right here. Okay. I literally just used the RSI, volume, and the 9 EMA. Those are the only real indicators that I think people need, besides, you just knowing how to read price. And guys, if you're, new to reading price action, just follow along. We have, 5 updates throughout the week. Sometimes I'm going to skip Friday's video because, we have the weekly update right there. And sometimes I say, no point. We're just going to have a longer weekly update. And then we have the weekly update going into the following week that comes out on the weekend. And then we're all prepared for the next week. All right. But you did break down from that level, came back, retested it. So far, it's just a break and retest. You got an indecision candlestick. You got a doji here. All right. On the gap down, it opens the door for a recovery. All right. Or just some more consolidation. I just don't think you're necessarily going to sell immediately off this daily candle. So I am looking for, not a gap down. All right. That's just, my opinion, my experience. That is what I'm looking for. All right. But on the 15-minute time frame, I did point out we got that downtrend to be paying attention to. I'm also going to point out you come down here, you take out this low. Maybe you sweep the 542.81 level right here. And maybe you put in a 15-minute bullish divergence. Regardless, this is exactly what I'm looking for. All right. If you do take out this low over here, and you're going to see this RSI down here, it's going to be down in the gutter. It's going to be in oversold territory. Maybe you get something like that. Maybe you get something like that. And then, boom, you have this downtrend to be paying attention to. And that's going to be your, key over here. If you see this 15-minute bullish divergence pop up, doesn't matter how it pops up. Maybe you just come down here. Maybe this is up here. And then, boom, it's bullish in compared to over here. You got a bullish divergence. All right. And then what's going to be the confirmation here? All right. You want to see like a 15-minute hammer, a doji candlestick, something bullish get put in here, something suggesting something like this, that the downside is about to stop. Buyers are starting to step in. And then from that point, this is the real confirmation, break of that downtrend. And then we probably do get a decent hoorah. All right. We get a bounce and maybe come all the way up here. All right. Now levels to be paying attention to me. All right. We're going to put in our handy dandy magnet right there. There you go. All right. It's going to be 546.73. Right above that level is going to be 547.10. That is your 0.618 fib from this whole, move down. That would be the retracement into the golden pocket. So maybe you come up here, you get a shooting star candlestick or a long-legged doji, something that stalls here and then wicks into the golden pocket. And then you get sellers. From there, we have to see what happens, but that is what I'm watching here on the smaller time frames going into the following week. All right. So that's really SPY for you. In the end, I do think we continue lower because, weekly massive upper wick here, shooting star candlestick. It does suggest bears are in control. So if you get that bounce, that's your shorting opportunity to get in with the people who are in control. All right. Bulls were in control all of these wicks. They were in control. Here, indecision. You started getting that. You started getting that. You started getting that. You knew going into the following week, bulls are in control. All right. Right now, it's just not the case. So you got to, caution is definitely warranted. There's that. Boom. We're going to get our next round of swing opportunities as we get this move down here to 533.07. Does it happen? I don't know. I'm just reading what I'm seeing on the charts. All right. So on the daily time frame, the levels that I will be paying attention to is right down here. Okay. It's going to be 544.12 to 542.81. That's the zone, the break and retest zone we're paying attention to right here. Underneath there, we're watching for 539.64. If bulls cannot hold that level, it's actually I got the level wrong. 539.59. Underneath 539.59, we're paying attention to 535.42. Underneath there, we're going to pay attention to the 533.07 break and retest, which really stands out to me here on this weekly chart. All right. Just an example of the break and retest right there. All right. You held it. That's what we're going to be looking for. If you come down here, you look for these hammers. All right. Or, you got right here, you got this, doji candlestick. We're looking for a sign that buyers are stepping back in. But that's really what I'm paying attention to over here on SPY. All right. Moving on to QQQ. Start off here with the weekly time frame. Again, nice, big, large upper wick there. You have the increasing volume. Sellers are in control going into the following week. It's literally the exact opposite candle of what we had over here, suggesting continuation. You're getting the sellers stepping back in, whereas over here, bulls were in full control this whole week. Over here, you can clearly tell that's not the case. Coming down to the daily time frame, what are we paying attention to? Okay. If you started to sell over here, all right, I was looking for the 490 psych level. You did hit 550 over there on SPY, so you did not reach up there. That's fine. Okay. On this pullback, we're paying attention to this break and retest, 476.50 to 478.39. As you can see, buyers are starting to step in as we get closer down there. That is expected, guys. All right, it's expected. Now you got this doji candlestick. I'm just going to point out. All right, let's just look back. This is what I was saying. All right, so you get this big red bar, just like we had over here. You get a doji, where it was right here. You get a doji. It doesn't suggest you're going to get that gap down. All right, it suggests indecision. You can get the gap down, and if you were to gap down underneath these lows here, that's very bearish. You're going to straight up sell. But this is more along the lines of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you not to gap down. Maybe we get a bounce. Maybe we retest this 483.43 level, the low of this candlestick, and then we continue lower from there, right? But we'll go over the smaller time frame stuff after we finish this. All right, so the levels you're paying attention to on the downside, which that's prevalent to me, all right, more prevalent than upside, because we know from that weekly candlestick, sellers are going to be in control going into next week. All right, so underneath 476.50, what are you paying attention to? 468.14. You really have nothing in between here and here. I know you got the lows of over here that you could pay attention to. I'm just going to say you give back 476.50. You have thin structure underneath that level until you come all the way back down here to the next zone we're going to be paying attention to, which is 465.74 to 468.14. All right, that's that. Now, if we come over to the weekly time frame, this level right here is what stands out to me, 460.58. That's $20 lower. I am not saying that happens, but I am saying, just like SPY, you had a $55 run. Over here, you had a $73 run. Expect your pullbacks once you see the structure starting to change. All right, which you can very clearly see. Weekly time frame. All right, this is my macro time frame. This is where I draw my bias from going into the following week. This thing, it's not bullish right now. It's not. You got a large upper wick. Okay, even in this case where you got that, you still hit it with the pullback. That's a $6 pullback from where you closed that week. That's what we're looking for. All right, $6 pullback. Honestly, I'm looking for at least coming all the way down here, 465.74. That's what's standing out to me on the weekly time frame. Let's look at it this way. From here up to here, you have a fair value gap. You probably fill this. Okay, you probably fill it. You don't typically leave it behind. Let me point out another example right here. Between here and here, fair value gap. You came down, you just about filled it. Okay, that's really what I'm looking for. All right, I'm looking for that pullback. That's that. We're obviously going to take it as we go. That's why we have the daily updates as well. We're going to always, see what we're seeing. But that's that. All right, now coming down to the 15-minute time frame, similar scenario over there as SPY. Okay, you're going to have this to be paying attention to. That's something that, we're going to be watching. Can you get a break above it or not? Okay, notice how this 15-minute RSI is already down here. I tell you guys all the time, look for the 15-minute bullish and bearish divergences down here. Okay, you had SPYs, bearish divergence marking the top, and then you sold from there. QQQ, you got a bullish divergence right as you came down into our break and retest zone. I understand you didn't quite hit it, but the fact that you're getting this, these wicks down here suggests you have buyers down here. You also had the 15-minute bullish divergence. What happened? All right, from that low, you had like a $5, no, not a $5 bounce, $3 bounce. All right, I still think you're probably going to get more of a bounce here. If you come down into here, this is where you're paying attention to. First things first, does this hold? All right, if you start coming down here, and this RSI is right here, you have a triple bullish divergence. You probably get a big boy bounce. And you probably at least make it up to this level right there. All right, so let's look at what we're paying attention to. Maybe come like that. Maybe it goes like that. Maybe it's like that. All right, and then once you break through this downtrend, that's when things get spicy. That's when you're paying attention on the long side. Like, if you start seeing what I'm talking about down here, you see, excuse me, I got the hiccups talking so fast. I'm trying to make this a faster video because we got so much to cover. Take a little break. there we take a little break from the fast talking. There we go. All right, if you see a wick down there like that, like that, like that, okay, but it happens right here in this zone. That's our demand zone we're paying attention to. That's when you look for the buyers. All right, and from that point, you can potentially catch a pretty big bounce there. Now, if you're going to just, add the other tool I used to, I told you guys only 3 indicators: volume, EMA, all right, RSI. guess what? This is like, you know, my other little tool we got going on here. It's not an indicator, but it is the golden pocket. Okay, if you do end up retracing back up to 483.43, that's going to be where you broke down from the low of this candlestick right here. You found buyers there. You clearly know there's action going on there. It's going to be an SR flip. Okay, it was support, support, boom. It should flip into resistance. Okay, so if you test it, expect sellers up here. We also have the confluence of the golden pocket up there. So you probably do get a bearish candlestick that prints right here. And that's your signal that bears are going to be stepping in right here. Regardless, if you're playing this long and you think it's going to come back here, okay, take your profits right here. You got 3 cons. Take 2 off right here. You're going to thank me. Because why? Because you're at least going to get that pullback here. And, you know, even if it's just going to do some ping pong action like this, okay, maybe it goes, you enter here, or you start it right here, half the position, wait for the breakout. That's your confirmation. All right, we'll just say you're playing that. Right there, guys, you're playing weeklies. Let's say Friday's expiration. You're up, you know, 80 to 100% on this move. Okay, that's just, you know, that's just how the option chain go. Okay, so you're already up a decent amount. Take the 2/3 right there. Well, then, what if it sells off right here? Okay, and you want to go long again. Well, now you would have given back, maybe we'll say 30 to 40% of that, you know, 80 to 100%. And then you could run it back and you could play that move. And maybe now you have a 15-minute bearish diverge right here. And then you're like, you know, screw this. Let me get out because maybe that move's about to happen. All right. So picture perfect. This is what we look for this week. All right. Picture perfect. This is kind of how I see it going. I'm going to go over step by step what you're watching for on this move right here. Let's say you go from here up to here. Okay. It's right around this level right there. What are you going to watch for, you know, on this pullback? You watch, first of all, this level right here. I'm going to fix that. Should be right there. 481.05. And then, you know, underneath there, you watch for buyers to step in over here at 480. I understand it's only $1, but let's look at it this way. From 478 to 480, you got to hold there. This is going to be your line in the sand. Because if you were to give this up, then you risk coming all the way back down to, you know, where you started. You risk 100% retracement because this is the 0.786 fib. 78.6% of this whole move is being retraced. If it comes under here, that's when it's weak. This is buyer's last stand is how I like to see it. And at that point, you're probably breaking under here and you're probably going a little lower. Okay. So that's really what I'm looking for into this week. The reason I do think you get a bounce and you don't just straight sell through here is because of what we already got going on over here. So, you know, realistically speaking, this potentially could play out. That's what I'm watching. Okay. Take that off to declutter it. This right here is really your base case. Okay. That's that. We already discussed the downside levels, guys. Underneath 476.50, you're watching for 468.14 down to 465.74. This is your next big spot for buyers to step in. All right. And at that point, I do think they hold it at least for that bounce. And that's that. But on the weekly time frame, I already point out the level that really stands out to me is going to be all the way back down here at 460.58. Now, this is a really aggressive move. I told you guys, 70 something bucks, 73 bucks, insane. All right. We could very much so. Just we're right over here. All right. You just get this pullback. This is $17. Okay. $17 brings you to right here in our zone. 18 bucks right here. All right. So at that point, we definitely got to watch 465.74 to 468.14 because, you know, in the past, guys, when you get these pullbacks after these aggressive moves, you don't all the time get that whole retracement. Okay. Because if you were really good, you know, if things were picture perfect and let's just, you know, continuously have our golden pocket test, yeah, we're coming back to 440, but that's just not going to be the case. All right. We've had really bullish price action. I don't think this thing, you know, is going to. Let's look at it this way. We have the monthly candlestick closing out this month. If you close out with the large upper wick and you close out right here, you probably do continue a little lower. Okay. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think much more likely is what I just discussed, which is this consolidation that we're probably going to get. Things take time. Okay. And if I was just to go off of this 15-minute time frame, I'm going to go off of this base case right here. Okay, but you know what to watch on the downside. If this doesn't happen and it fails, you start flushing under here. Okay, you don't really have a lot of, you know, structure down here, but support is going to be down here at 472.72. Underneath there, 468.14. That's QQ for you. IWM is the next one we're going to go over. As you can see, you just broke up from this bullish falling wedge. Okay. You hit it with the break and retest down here. We told you to watch for buyers right here. What do you print? All right. A giant long-legged doji indecision candlestick right there, showing that buyers were starting to step in after getting this bearish action. All right. Right off the 0.618 fib, wick down to the 0.786 fib. You got this range. You're breaking above it. Not necessarily the most bearish look here on the 15-minute time frame going into the next week. Now on the weekly time frame, see right here, we're in this large pennant. All right, so if you can't hold here, things get ugly, and at that point, probably we're gonna revisit lower. Okay, but as of right now, you got this bullish engulfing candlestick here on the weekly time frame, showing that buyers are stepping in. It's not really the worst look in my personal opinion. Daily time frame, what do you have? You have a hammer candlestick, all right? Hammer candlestick off a heavy volume. This is why I don't think we're going to immediately sell to start the week. Not this specifically, but I also pointed out what I was watching on Spine QQ that doesn't suggest that. And now you have this. Yeah, I think we're probably going to consolidate or get a little bounce going into the start of the week. All right, maybe sell a little over there on Spine QQ. Then you get the bounce from the zones that I mentioned before. Okay, but right here, this thing suggests you're probably about to, get a move up. It doesn't always have to be the case. We've been trolled. But you're at least going to start getting that move up. Okay. Let's see what we get. DIA. Told you guys, don't be bullish into this golden pocket. This is exactly where you look for the opposing side to step in. You pull back, okay, from here to here, retrace into the golden pocket. You got the opposing side stepping in. Sellers were pulling you back. Buyers started stepping in. All right. Then you have this little flag. Now you're all the way up here at this golden pocket. You look for the opposing side, which in this case is sellers, to step in. All right, so I would not be bullish over here on DIA on the weekly time frame. This isn't necessarily the most bearish candlestick. Okay, you probably do end up trading into this 393 to 396.51 golden pocket up here this week. All right, going off of this, you have a bullish engulfing, low volume, very low volume. All right, similar to over here. But if I had to guess, consolidation this week, or we go a little higher and consolidate right here. That's just, my guess there. VIX, I think it's getting ready, though. I do. All right. I shared my thoughts the other day. I thought I trolled myself, but, at the end of the day, it perked right back up. I think this thing is probably, getting ready here to have a VIX explosion. All right. And maybe you get all the way up here to 1488. Now, if we get up here, guys, knowing the S&P, it's just going to be down there at 533.07 like we suggested, earlier in the video. If you get that move up here, it's not necessarily the biggest move on Mr. VIX. If something really, if we get a large sell-off over there on S&P 500, that's when you have this move, coming. I don't think that's coming just yet. All right. But above 1347, you have the door wide open to 1488. That's that. You expect sellers to step in the zone right here, 16 down to 1480. That's where, we've seen that opposing side step in for a very long time now. Okay. That's your heavily traded zone. You watch for sellers. If you get the spike, you watch for sellers up here. If you're in this zone and SPY is at some key spots that we just discussed, well, we look for buyers to step in. That's all I'm going to say over here on Mr. VIX. All right. Now let's go over some of these big boys. Come over here to Amazon. This thing is probably top watch going into next week. If you are trading these big boys, the FANG stocks, this thing doesn't look bad. Above 188.35, you look for 191.70. It's beautiful. Okay, it looks like it's probably gonna take out the highs over here. All right, this week you're probably you're getting right above here, and then you're probably getting that continuation up to that $200 level. That's incoming over here, in my opinion. Apple. All right, I told you, caution is warranted up here. We hit pretty much all of my targets. We had the 220, I think it was 221 was going to be the last target up there, but you got really close, 220. All right, you look for that sell-off, you ranged here, and if you really want to take a deeper look at it, you broke and retested there. Looks like on the hourly time frame, yeah, you broke and retested. All right, very clear. You're coming down here, down to 199.62. That's what I'm paying attention to. Microsoft, I told you guys, this is one that looks like it's going to continue higher. You got this hammer candlestick. What do you get the following day? You got that move right back up to 550. And it does look like it is still going to continue higher. All right. So, that sell on SPY and QQ, Probably not going to happen right away. Just my opinion. Goog, you started waking up. All right. I told you guys I would just avoid this thing. But what the heck is this going on over here? Goog is waking up. You got that large upper wick there. But I think you're getting ready to move up to 185. You're breaking out that range. You technically did get that daily breakout here. All right, off of heavy volume. You do have the large upper wick, but yeah, 185.50 incoming over here on Goog. Meta, all right, we've been talking about it. We've definitely been talking about it. You get this pullback over here, it's setting up for a really nice opportunity. Okay, from that point, you're going to have this downtrend to watch as well. So you come over here, maybe break above the downtrend. Well, now you're queuing up for a move back up to the highs. And that's that. Meta's looking really juicy, but underneath 496.01, that was the bottom of this little range you got going on here, 4-day range. Underneath there, guess what? 482.50 incoming. That's the break and retest that I am really interested in. And if you want to take it a step further, take it like that. Okay. Maybe come down here. Maybe you have a nasty wick. You get a hammer candlestick right here. That's what you really want to see. And that's that. All right. So now let's look at chips. SMH, guys. Again, with the nasty look, I told you guys, chips lead the NASDAQ. NASDAQ leads S&P 500. S&P 500 leads everything else. That's how I see it. This thing has a large upper wick. This thing's probably getting ready to have a deeper pullback. All right. On the daily candlestick, you got this doji. Means you're probably not going to sell immediately, so I'm not looking for that big gap down. All right. Maybe it's something like this. Okay, where you open up and then you start moving down, but I don't think you're just going to get a gap down. That's that. So if you're a futures trader, I don't think you sell off massively overnight. Just my opinion. All right. But that's that. You're watching 250.85 to 255.92 on this move down. I do think those levels will be hit. 250.85 is the weekly level that really stands out to me. And if you get that really deep pullback here, 10% pullback, keep in mind, guys, I pointed out on NASDAQ, you got a massive freaking move over here too, right? $73 move on NASDAQ, on QQQ, $81 move on SMH, okay? It could pull back a little and it'll still be extremely bullish, all right? Just like you got this pullback and I was bullish on it. Guess what? All right, why? Because this thing has not given us any reason to be, bearish on it, okay? If it was going to be bearish, you're going to get this pullback here. You short the lower high. I tried that on QQQ. It's right over here. I'll be transparent on it, all right? I think it was right there, right there. I think 442 was the line I put in my sand. All right, and as you could see, we were dancing around it for a little bit. Right here, you popped above it. So I got out. Why? Because of this. Okay, because of that. Well, SMH, guys, it's going to take a lot to really put in some weekly bear structure. It will. All right, you're going to need to come down here. You need to get a bounce to a lower high, and then you need to take it out again. And then you're not going to be in this massive freaking uptrend you've been in. But until that happens, you're still in a massive uptrend. This is what I speak of, all right? Here, you came down, equal low, all right? And then lower high. This is what I'm talking about. And then you broke it. And in the end, yeah, you had one more bearish move down. And guess what? All right? You still saw the bull step in. I don't think this bull run's ending. I really don't. Okay, I think we're going to get a pullback, and I think you go up to new highs. All right, but down here at 460.58 and 465.74, those are the weekly levels that stand out to me. So that's what I'll really be paying attention to, and that's that. Okay, now let's go over some of those chips. All right, the chips and dips, SMCI, still perking up right there. All right, you got that little pullback. Of course, guys, we're going to continue watching this golden pocket right here, 800 to 846. All right, 822.54 is the level that really stands out to me. Break and retest level right there. You see that? I think it's a buying opportunity for that next, the next move up, $100 to $150 move. All right, TSM, guys, this thing again did not close out bullishly. We pointed that out after we got this, and then we got this, and then yeah, as you see, bears are still in control here, guys. You're right here at the 9. You're finding buyers right there. But at the moment, guys, it looks like you're going to come down here, break 169.84, and underneath that level, you open up the door to coming back down here to 160.78. That's what I'm paying attention to. AMD, all right? You broke out, and you retested the falling wedge upper bound, all right? Upper trend line right there. It doesn't matter if you want to draw it like that or you want to draw it like I have right there, okay? falling wedge, consolidation right into the golden pocket. All right. And you guys here on this channel, you knew about this. All right. You knew about this trade right there. Okay. You took it at the 0.618 fib. The target, at the end of the day, I said I thought it was coming all the way back up to 172.49. All right. For this, the weekly trade there, you were just looking for these 3 levels right here. You hit all of them on this big old green stick. You hit it with the stick. And then AMD wants to pull back. And now, honestly, it's still looking like it's going to continue higher to me. So I'll be transparent on that. I think this thing is coming up to 177, down to 170, that golden pocket. I think it's coming up to 172.49 to test that level. ARM, okay, I told you guys, I think it's a good idea to wait for this pullback. I think it's going to happen. I still think you are going to get this, deeper pullback here. But I will point out you got a hammer candlestick on the daily time frame with, decently heavy volume there. You probably do get a continued bounce. And I'm just going to say this thing is bullish, okay? You are getting this. It does suggest we're probably going to be, getting that consolidation or a pullback. But I will point out this thing is being added to the S&P 500, I believe, and it's not really looking too bad. There's that. MU. Told you. This level right here, 130.54, that's what stands out to me. Okay? Support. You have all these break and retests. That's what I watch. Right here, you had buyers starting to step in. The next one was going to be down here, 135.85. Underneath there, the next one is going to be all the way down here, 130.54. It still looks like you are going to hit that. To me, you have earnings coming up. What if you come down here right before earnings, and then boom, you get another explosion, just like you got off the last earnings? That, very realistic to me. That's MU. All right, those are the chips that I'm going to be paying attention to. Now we're going to talk about a crap ton of trade ideas. All right, a crap ton. First things first, Nike, it's perking up. All right, you're coming into this, but I do just want to say here, all right, this thing on the weekly chart looks amazing. Bullish engulfing candlestick off of increasing volume. Looks like it's got some room. Okay, so I'm not going to call anything specifically on it. You can see my chart, see what I'm paying attention to. Pullbacks or buying opportunities over here on Nike. All right, next one I'm going to point out is the Twitter one that I keep seeing mentioned. I think it's about to start making its comeback. All right, in the weekly time frame, did hit it with a hammer candlestick. Daily time frame, you hit it with the hammer candlestick. Bullish engulfing candlestick off of increasing volume. I like it. All right, next one we'll talk about is Oxy. You're pulling back right now. Where are you watching on the pullback? Watch right here. Okay, I know we got a lot of levels. Let's just remove it to declutter this chart. We know that's the golden pocket. We know. All right. But now the next one is going to be here at 60.60 down to 60. All right. If you come down to 60, 59.87 specifically, that's the high of this candlestick. That's, ideally your re-entry over here on Oxy. Now, I told you everyone on these moves up, you came into resistance. It's best to take off most of the position. I personally took off the vast majority of the position. We ran it back twice this week. All right. Congrats if you made a ton of money on Oxy. All right. We will be calling out a bunch of more bangers here on this channel, guys. All right. Most of these trades, most of the trade ideas, they're profitable. Okay. But I'm going to point out sometimes, actually decently often, we get moves like this that blow our mind. We're like, we were so freaking ready for it. All right. And then boom, there's the big gainers. This was one of the big gainers. All right. Now you're going to get a chance to run it back right here. All right. 59.87. Either way on this pullback, I think it's a buying opportunity. That's that. Next one we're paying attention to, it's going to be over here. Coin. All right. We're going to quickly just run through a crap ton of these tickers right now. All right. Coin. I told you, you broke down from here. It's not looking good. All right. Bitcoin wasn't looking good. What do we got now? We're down here at the exact zone that we were paying attention to for buyers to start stepping back in. Golden pocket, baby. All right. 210 to 220. That's your buying opportunity over here on Coin. You already found buyers off the 0.618 fib. Congrats if you did end up taking a position over there. You might be a little early, but at the same time, that's exactly what we were waiting for. All right. I just didn't see it until I looked at all my tickers, over the weekend. So there's that. But yeah, I'm looking for buyers to step in over here. I like the set. And that's that. That's really going to go off of Bitcoin right here. That's also what you're paying attention to. Ideally, Bitcoin comes down here to this 0.618 fib. All right. 62.5K. And then we see buyers step in there. From that point, you're going to have this downtrend to pay attention to. You watch for a break over that. I actually see a little wedge action forming right here. See what I see? All right, so there's that. Maybe we come down here, get one last flush, scares people, hammer candlestick forms, boom, reversal. That's ideally what we're paying attention to. Mara, okay, still got this, you know, right shoulder. It's not taking a beating like coin over there. Coin's going to move like pretty much 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. All right, but Mara's clearly, you know, stronger than coin over there. It's getting ready for a move. All right, it's just the right shoulder. You come down into 1750. That's your next buying opportunity to accumulate on this right shoulder. I think it's happening. All right, next one, BBBY. All right, break and retest potential. I'm going to point out a few of these guys. All right, the level you're paying attention to is going to be 86.11. Obviously, you have this daily break and retest over there, 88.96. But on the weekly chart, what stands out to me is 86.11. All right, and underneath there, big boy opportunity if you come back down here, 83.36. That's what I'm watching over there in BBY. I know, controversial name. I almost started a position and then someone left in the tick request over on Twitter. I'll give another plug over to the Twitter. All right, link is going to be down below. You can see this, all these charts that we're going to post there. We got 34 charts in those ticker requests. Guys, please, if you're requesting tickers, please just leave a like. I should not have like 20 comments and only like 7 likes over there. It is what it is. It's okay. Me doing that gets more engagement over Twitter, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, guys, please engage with that. It definitely does help. All right, likes, repost, and stuff like that definitely helps over Twitter. I can't grow the same as I grow over here on YouTube. YouTube is pretty consistent. All right, you post a good, you know, valuable video, we're getting a quick 20 to 50 people overnight. It's pretty consistent. And yeah, guys, we're getting pretty big in this space. We're getting kind of big. I remember this channel was Palantir days. We were at 1,000 subs, and then, you know, we had we were hovering around 2,000 subs for a while. And then, guys, we started with these daily and weekly updates, and I found the bread and butter over here on this channel that, you know, we're just going to keep growing with it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey so far. It's going to keep rocking. All right. Take off that, though. Take that. Going to point out, guys, hammer candlestick, inside bar, heavy volume. Daily RSI was down at like 27, 25. All right, I saw it even lower over here. Maybe it was at 24. And yeah, I think this thing is going to be going for rides. So something to keep on your radar. MCD. I like the weekly candlestick it just put in. That's what I really want to make the focus of this ticker right here. Weekly candlestick, bullish engulfing candlestick off of heavy volume. Weekly RSI crawling back up. I like it. All right, it's probably going for that reversal. You got something like that going on. This is one that could also be starting up a little earlier than I thought. I thought, you know, in the end, we'd get a move down to 96.51. I would get the perfect trade to take advantage of over there. But these are the upside levels you're paying attention on Disney now that you've gotten the downturn break. That's that. You want one over here that's just straight up strong, like Kava we were pointing out, you know, a few weeks back. We were just talking about riding that guy up if you want to keep doing that. This is another one that probably just started one of these breakouts. Okay, you see breakout, move, you just keep going. Breakout, keep going for a little bit, and then you pull back. All right, you almost got the retest. Regardless, then you had your breakout, you kept going for a ride. Right here, you start another one of those breakouts. So, you know, if you're a momentum trader, there you go. There's the positive momentum for you. Cost. Okay, we're talking about this pullback. Okay, you got this uptrend. Well, no, someone left a ticker request over in the Discord, so I don't even think I brought it up here on the channel. All right. Quick plug for the Discord, guys. Link is going to be down below. You can come trade with me. You get the morning briefing each morning going, so you know you're ready to watch what you're watching on S&P 500 and NASDAQ. If you guys are futures traders, it's going to heavily benefit you. If you just trade, you know, short-term options on SPY and QQQ, heavily benefit you. All right. We got the morning brief. We got the intraday analysis that I just, you know, if I'm trading throughout that day, I'll just keep updating my charts. And even if I'm not trading much that day, I'll keep calling the price action over there on SPY, QQ, and IWM all day. All right. So if you are interested in that, there's that. You also get access to the focus list with, you know, 4 to 8 setups going into each week. Last week, we had, I think it was all of them actually, hit pretty big. So there's that. If not 3 out of 4. Oxy, IBM, and AMD. I honestly forgot what the other one was off the top of my head. All right. But, you know, if that's something that sounds good to you, link will be down below. There's that. Went over to Alta and actually finishing on cost. Look for this level right here, 816.87. That stands out to me underneath there. 78708. Very clear, strong move, strong uptrend. Pullbacks are buying opportunities. You're watching for a break of that uptrend right there. Alta. Okay, guys, this thing doesn't look bad. Weekly time frame is gonna, be what I put the focus on here on this ticker. You're basing down here. You're getting ready for a move. All right, it looks like it's gonna be a big move back up. I think down here is ground floor. Okay, right here off your demand zone. You're finding buyers. I like what I'm seeing. And yeah, bottom of the range right now, top of the range is going to be all the way up here. So that's a pretty big move alone, but I do think you're starting a bigger move up. All right, and once we get that bigger move up started, that's when we look for a move to 539.98. I like it. I think this is clearly a base that's developing up here or down here. So that's that. Next one is going to be Dell. Okay. You bought here. We were saying to look for sellers up here at 150. Or not 159, 160. Regardless, golden pocket, that's where I was looking for the sellers. They stepped in right there. All right, stepped in at the 0.618 fib, guys. We always expect that opposing side. Guess what? You're now pulling back into the next golden pocket. Okay, you got this going on right there. We're going to take that off. We're just going to put it right here. You see where buyers stepped in? Next golden pocket right here. If you get the pullback all the way down here, 136.16, that's the level of interest that is really going to be that amazing buying opportunity here if you think Dell is going higher. Okay, you're gonna have your uptrend, you're gonna have the break and retest over here on the weekly time frame. See right there. And yeah, 0.786 fib is right over there. So buyers, if you get this buying opportunity right here, they very likely hold the line right here, and then you at least get that decent sized bounce. So I like it. All right, next one we're watching is Hood. Okay, you could see you came down to the first level that I was saying after we broke that uptrend. I said I thought it was time. It was time. Hood was going to be stalling out here. Now it looks like it's about to go a little higher. All right, it's perking back up. You found buyers right there off the first, retest or the first level I was watching, which was the break and retest level over there. All right, you did not get the deeper buying opportunity that I was looking for. Either way, guys, this is a strong stock. This thing, I think, will continue going higher. And yeah, I think you got a bullish engulfing candlestick, at least going into the start of the week. I think you're probably going to get some more upside. That's that. All right. I'm going to talk about some oil right here. You're getting sellers over here in the golden pocket. It's okay, guys. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. All right. You come over here to CL. We're actually going to use this. This is what I've been paying attention to. All right. CL. You had your breakout. Now you're consolidating. It is a break and retest. It does look like this is going to be given back, though. And you're going to start pulling back. That's going to create the buying opportunity over there on some of these names. Okay. What are some of these names? COP. You got this nice downtrend break, whether you want to make it over here and you stalled out. Okay. Either way, you come back down here, 0.618 fib from this whole move up. That's where it is. It's right over here. All right. So in between 105.77 and 108.84, that's where I would say your buying opportunity is going to be over here on COP. Okay. You come over here to Oxy. We already covered that one. Okay. It was the big winner to start up. You're about to run it back for round 2. Down here around 59.87. That's where you really want the entry. But I do think this is going to be a buying opportunity. Notice how you have not been able to get above and maintain above that 9 EMA, the daily 9. Well, what happened now? You got way above it. You pulled back and buyers are stepping in there. All right. This time is different. This time you're getting something like this. Okay, you just got it. Next one, IBM. All right, now I did not like how this thing really ended up shaping up. I was looking for that continuation, ideally above 174.97. No, you came up to that level and you literally just sold off of it. All right, you sold within 1 penny of it. You could not get it. The weekly time frame, candlestick isn't necessarily so bad. I still do think you get some further upside. It didn't happen as quick as Henry Boy over here thought would happen. All right, but I do think you are getting a breakout from this range over here, getting that increasing volume. I think you are going to start heading up to that 174.97 level. And then above there, you have a wide open door to 180.88. That is that. All right, we actually didn't cover in the video. I just realized. Told you if you break that, this is the first break and retest. I love my break and retest. 125.59. Where do you find buyers? Right around there. Okay, you came down to 124.30-ish. And then you found your buyers there Okay, that's the first spot. You're also in the golden pocket. You definitely were looking for buyers stepping. Okay, first spot. Second spot is going to be down here at 115.82 if things really get ugly and you give up this zone. All right, so underneath 122, you're probably just going to straight up sell down here to 115.82. That's what I'm watching over on NVIDIA. Weekly time frame, candlestick is not bullish. All right, you also didn't have a bullish candlestick here. What happened? All right, the beast decided to keep being a beast. I think you're getting a deeper pullback. All right, maybe you get a little bounce, maybe it comes up here, and then boom, maybe, just maybe. All right, so that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.